Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of this video where I will continue to draw this piece over here that you see. I'm just getting the brush wet before I progress with the drawing. And hopefully today all the autofocus issues will have been addressed, because for part one the camera was set up with the automatic focus, which made like the lens constantly change as I was doing the drawing. So hopefully this time it's working correctly. And yeah, let's continue. So last time I left, I was going to do this part over here, and I also wanted to do the head. Yeah, let's continue. So for the head, like I told before, I'm gonna be drawing it sideways, and I do need to get the paper closer to me. Let's get it more centered. Yeah, I'm still deciding on how to tackle the head, and this is something that I had pending, so maybe something like... So if you think about it, the head's gonna be like this, right? So this is, what I'll be drawing over here. And you have essentially the back. So yeah, now I need to turn this into like a head proper. So it's gonna be maybe like this, regular hairstyle, bit more circly. And yeah, you're not gonna be able to see a whole lot of the face at this angle. So yeah, something like this too here. So let's do it. I've been stalling it long enough. Okay, let me stall just a bit more, because I also like to draw these expand on the shadows, let's say, a bit more. But yeah, I need to start doing the head. So let's just build a bit here. And yeah, hopefully for this time the autofocus issues have been addressed. And hopefully sound is good as well. And hopefully I can draw nicely as well. That's always the concern, that I'm gonna get here and like just flunk it. That's also my concern whenever I'm drawing live. Not that I do a lot of the live drawing, but I'm always thinking, oh snap, what if I suddenly forget how to draw? I'm not sure if this happens to all of you. Whenever someone asks you, hey, can you draw live? And I'm like, oh, maybe I completely forgot how to draw live. How do you do it? How do you draw? So unfortunately the ink is a bit dry, the brush. So I'm just taking care of it by layering a bit here. Okay, awesome. Now we have a shirt. Now for the head. So because everyone in the bus might have, essentially the same height, the head here should align with this one over here, as the way the perspective is built. It's just that, of course, the person over here is farther away, so it's going to appear shorter to the camera. But ideally, they should have more or less the same head height. And I think my cat wants to show up in the video. Come on, you can show up. Cat, cat, cat. Cat. Come here. Come here, Cookie. Come here, you can show up. Cookie. Okay, now the video turned into me calling my cat. But yeah, I like doing these drawings. They are very flashy. It also showcases that I can do more than just, the portrait or the person, just a single person. I can also build a scene. But they do take some time to do. That's the thing. And yeah, these are drawings of multiple sessions, at least for me. Unfortunately, I don't have time to do these in a single session. Okay. Like always, I think I prefer the head shape that I gave in the sketch than in the finished piece. But yeah, that's life. So I did do the hair markings. And now I need to wet the brush. My cat's looking very closely at what it is that I'm doing. This part here should be darker. Cookie. Sorry, my cat is sitting right next to me while I draw. So now I'm just waiting for this part to dry a bit because I do want to have some darker tones. Define a bit better, this area of the face as well. Yeah, we're killing it. I do need more ink, so popping open the ink. And yeah, my brush is slowly starting to lose the tip. And yeah, there's a brand that has sent me, will send me some more traditional brushes. Hopefully those are good as well for my style of drawing, because this one is also starting to show its, I wouldn't say its age, but its use. And the great thing about using this ink technique is that you can practically do like a sketch with the fainter ink before you are, ready to commit to the end lines, to the more final lines, let's say. But yeah, looking great. This part over here is going to be like the mirror. You know where there are mirrors, at least in the buses here for. And one thing that I always forget to do is that because now my brush is loaded with blacker ink, I can actually, and I should be doing, some of the lines that need to be better defined, essentially. Cookie, come on. And also reinforcing the shadows, maybe. Very cool. Very nice. So I think I'm definitely better at drawing like longer hair compared to shorter hair. I'm not as good as drawing shorter hair. At least more expressive hair, Limitations to address. But yeah, but my list of limitations to draw is quite huge. And yeah, so I believe, let's continue. So we have here the hair, the backpack. The backpack could definitely be a bit more defined. It's not my best backpack by a long shot. I was trying to channel those big travel backpacks because I have one myself. But it's not my best. But we continue. We continue. I would like to add a character here. At least that's where I'm going now. Just to make it a bit more denser here. So maybe for that, what I can do is, first I'm just going to reinforce this front here. And I need to extend this thing here just so I have like the frontier for that. Cookie. Yeah, I need to extend this. So my cat just slapped me. Well, in this part, while not 100% precise, it's meant to symbolize that the lines they start to spread out a bit. Sorry, my cat is looking at me. I'll post like a funny picture on Instagram of my cat just looking at me. Yeah, where was I? Yes. The defining a bit the frontier for a character. Cookie. This should be more or less it. This is the space that I have for a character. And I will draw my strong point. I think a female character. Maybe someone that's so bored from the trip. Yeah, maybe that's not the best thing, but I guess my drawings are that. They're boring. They're just people doing regular things. But it is what I like to draw, so the thing here to be careful is that we have my cat. So first the cat, right? Cat shows up. It's a catastrophe. And I need to be sure that the character that I draw here first doesn't take away too much from these characters that are already, taking a bit more center stage. These two. And plus the perspective and the positioning. That's the hardest part. And maybe because it is the hardest part, I'll just start by doing a very light, just to understand what it is that can be done with the space. Just putting a person here. Okay, I think it works nicely. I think it works nicely. Very nice. I think it works nicely here. So for that, I'm gonna charge a bit more the brush with water. With ink, I meant. And I'm going to make sure that the tip is in a good position to draw. Perfect. So let's start. So it does have a bit too much ink. Now it's perfect. And let's say that the person is super bored from the trip. And because the person is farther away, there's no need to go crazy with details. I mean, it does help because the paper is big. I think the most important thing in this scenario is actually making sure that the perspective is right. So let's continue. Perfect. Hair, big hair. Big hair always helps to hide and to give volume, but also mostly to hide, elements that you might not necessarily want to draw. I think it's turning out quite nicely, yeah. Though I do want some darker tones. Perfect. In the meantime, maybe not to always be speaking about drawing. Yeah, let's speak about a bit about maybe video games. Not that I've been playing a lot. Mostly Tetris. But this week, the new Sonic game is launched. Mildly excited for that. Hoping that by the end of the month I have some time to enjoy it. I'm planning to buy it as soon as I see it at a store. But I haven't been visiting many game stores. But yeah, excited for Sonic Superstars. Hoping the game is good. But yeah, big fan of Sonic. Not so much the most recent output, but yeah, the first one on the Mega Drive. Also, love the Dreamcast ones, except Shuffle. I never played that one. But yeah, love the Dreamcast ones as well. And loved Sonic Mania. I think everyone did, so that's not a revolutionary take. And yeah, just it seems that they're starting to find their groove in the 3D space as well. Apparently, Frontiers was well received. So yeah, hoping this one is good. Though I did see that it was being developed by the same team that made Balan, that game with Yuji Naka, Balan Wonderworld. So a bit weary of that, but it doesn't mean that they cannot pull off a good game. You know, that's a bit of the discourse online is always that, you know, oh, they made this game, so of course the next game they're gonna make is gonna be terrible. I mean, it doesn't work like that, you know. You can improve. That's what this entire YouTube channel is about, is improving. So yeah, hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully they made a good game. Fun game. Yeah, and I'll be excited for it when I see it on shelves, I think next week. So very happy with how this person turned out. I'm going to keep it as simple as I can, not to overdo it too much. I should have made it so that it was feeling, she was a bit more, you know, heavier on her right hand. This hand over here that's supporting her weight. But unfortunately I didn't think it throughly, so awesome. And yeah, this week as well in South Korea, the Kim Jong-gi Museum opens up. Would be great to visit it, really. But probably only next year or something. That's the thing. I was in Korea last year in 2022. It was amazing. I was in Seoul. I did try to visit the Super Annie offices, but because of the whole pandemic thing, I wasn't allowed. But the team at Super Annie was kind enough to, you know, I met up with one of the team members, and they managed to get like my sketchbook 2022 and the Omphalos, I think that's the name of the book. My Omphalos signed by Kim Jong-gi with amazing sketches, really. Sorry, I think I need to open the door to my cat. Just a second. I'm back. Sorry, my cat starts to cry whenever the door is closed and wants to go outside. But yeah, visited Seoul last year. It was great. I really loved the city, and you know how infectious it is. And me and my wife, we got definitely infected by the K-pop bug. Um, at the time, New Jeans were also launching their EP, so that was their first EP, so that was a big a certified K-pop moment over there. And yeah, the clothing and the fashion, everything was just so amazing, and I really want to go back. So yeah, maybe next year. It's gonna depend on a whole lot of things. Kid, my daughter is being born next year, so it's really going to depend on how easy is it to travel with an infant, with a newborn. And not that we'll be traveling immediately, of course, but once we manage to once we feel confident that we can do it. So that's gonna be it. Yeah, so I would love to visit the museum. So hopefully next year I'm able to visit it. If not, then definitely the year after. And hopefully some additional exhibitions can come to Europe. Last year there was the one in Galerie Daniel Mégan, which I was very fortunate to be able to visit. This was one shortly before his unfortunate untimely passing. But yeah, I was very fortunate to visit that gallery and that exhibition. It was amazing. Yeah, shame it had to happen afterwards. And of course, I do hope to continue to visit, more European cities. And of course, if you follow me on Instagram and you see that I'm visiting, city XYZ, and you would like to buy a copy of my book from me, just let me know. That way you can also you avoid paying shipping fees, which is great. No one likes to pay shipping fees. What did I let me? I'm thinking, what did I enjoy most about Seoul? Yeah, probably just the ambiance. Really, it's So I currently live in Switzerland, and it's the towns here are very quiet. The cities here are very quiet, and visually they're also not like the most interesting visually. Um, it's a weird mesh of old buildings which are very lovely with all newer construction with it, which is essentially squares, and it doesn't make sometimes for and my what I like to do is draw slice of life, and it doesn't always make for an attractive drawing if I'm making myself clear. Um, Sometimes I need to be exposed to these busy scenes to be able to draw them, and yeah, unfortunately in Switzerland it can be a bit rare to find that. Now I need to think this carefully. This line should be like so. But yeah, the ambience was amazing there in Seoul, and so much, also visual creativity, and you're always being bombarded by interesting drawings. Same as Japan, really. Same as Japan, you're always just seeing these amazing pictures, these amazing drawings, and everywhere you go, in the metro station. While here in Switzerland, it's a bit harder to find that type of visual creativity, and yeah, I definitely think that here in Switzerland the creativity is more on the watchmaking industry, not so much on the drawing industry. Not that there is an industry. Yeah, it is. It can be rare to find people that draw here. Can be hard sometimes. Or maybe I'm just generalizing and making a gross oversimplification. But yeah, that's my general feeling, definitely. And but yeah, I think their ingenuity and creativity goes mostly to making watches. And sometimes they can be very flashy, the watches. And speaking of watches, I did buy this one. I bought a Seiko in Japan, which I'm actually super happy to have. So I did buy a Seiko in Japan. It looks great. And yeah, that was my first watch. Seikos are hard to find here in Switzerland. Just a bit more and then I'll be stopping for a rest. Yeah, I also want to revisit Japan. I only visited Tokyo and Kyoto, but there's so much more to visit. And Kyoto is huge. Sorry, Tokyo is huge. Can be a bit overwhelming sometimes with how huge it was. And I do have a lot of funny stories from the trip. It's still a bit surreal to me that I visit the Pentel offices in Kyoto, and they were kind enough to let me in and even provide a presentation on the company history, what it is that they make. I also shared a bit, my thoughts on the brushes. It was like a meeting, like a business meeting. It was so weird, but that's so special at the same time. It was so surreal, being there and what's happening. I was super happy to be there, and that the Pentel team there in Japan were gracious enough to let me in. They could have just said who is this guy, get him out of the office. But no, they let me in. They gave me a lot of brushes as well. That I've been using. I think the most interesting part really was talking about yeah, brushes and how they're made, the specific considerations, and what makes the brush tick. And by tick, work. And I was able to share, a bit my thoughts on what it is that I like, not that my opinion is the truth, just my personal opinion. And I just noticed that the microphone was dropped. So yeah, this is a very professional YouTube channel, as you can see. But yeah, visiting Japan, great, amazing. Big shout out to Pentel for letting me in their office and for giving me a guided tour, and for indulging a bit in my love to talk about drawing instruments. I greatly appreciate. They could have just said no, we don't take visitors. But no, they accepted my visit. Yeah, we made some nice progress over here. Again, by the way, this scene is this is the Lausanne a Lausanne bus. I am using a reference for the structure of the bus, not the people inside, but for the structure itself. Because I'm not going to memorize the inside of a bus. I mean, I could, but I don't have time for that. So yeah, I probably should have said this in the beginning, but this is not a professional YouTube channel, far from it, and I am not a professional. Let me just check my phone. That's also recording the time lapse. Seems to be working nicely. Perfect. So yeah, the time lapse was recorded nicely. So this is going to be it for today. For this video, it's going to be a bit on the shorter side, but I hope you liked it. For the next video, we will continue on this part over here. We will continue on this part over here, develop here the center, and I don't know, I would like to perhaps do something a bit bolder here on this part. How bold can I be? Would it work if I were to draw like a big person here, like the angle? Would it work? It would be definitely risky. Yeah, but maybe a person here would work very nicely. Like head here. It could work. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone who is seeing this video right now. I hope you liked it. I hope it was instructional, informative. That's the entire purpose of this YouTube, also to entertain, hopefully. Hopefully you also enjoyed my chat. Sorry, just darkening this here. Hopefully you enjoyed my chat as well, my conversation. I'm not the best at doing idle conversations, so hopefully this was entertaining. Yeah, any comments you have, please let me know. I would be very happy to read through them, and I do try to reply to comments as well. So thank you so much to everyone who's joined today. Oh, I mean, who's watching? Thank you. Speak to you guys.